Welcome back. This is the second video in my Adobe Premiere Pro tutorial series in which I'm showing you how to edit together a music video. In this video I'll be showing you how to add in video transitions and also how to add in certain effects to your video clips. For example, how to alter the speed of a video clip, how to change the opacity of a video clip, and also how to change the position and size of a video clip as well. In the previous video I discussed the basic layout of Adobe Premiere Pro and basic editing tools that we'd need. I also talked about how to sync up audio and video files, and then how to stitch all your different video clips together. If you missed it, I'll leave a link here. And then in the final video of this series I'll be talking about colour correction, adding graphics, and finally how to export your video. Finally, I just want to mention that I have an affiliate link in the description below which will get you access to Adobe Premiere Pro. Click on the link to find out more, sign up, or even get a free trial. You can get either just Adobe Premiere Pro on its own, or you can get the full Creative Cloud subscription, which includes all of the Creative Cloud software programs such as Photoshop, After Effects, etc, etc. I love it so much and I would highly recommend it because there's just so much that you can do with the software. So let's get straight into the tutorial and I will show you some of that stuff now. So now I've chosen all the different video clips that I want to use throughout the video, and I've lined them up all into one layer, so V13. And then I've got the odd clip here in layer V14, which I've overlaid on top of this. So I like to let the frequency of the changes in camera angle and video clips vary, depending on the flow of the music. So as the music gets faster, I make my cuts between scenes quicker. So in this little section here, the music starts off a little bit slower, but then gets faster. So I do the cuts more frequently. So then the next bit here is a bit slower, so I go on to longer clips then. But yeah, that's where I choose to swap between the scenes. But now I'm going to show you how to add in some transitions. So for the kind of jumpy, exciting parts of the song, I tend to have just plain jump cuts between the different video takes, like this. But in some of the slower sections, I like to have crossfades and transitions. So if we zoom in, here I've added in a cross dissolve between these two clips. So I'll just delete this and show you how I added it in. So I'll first show you what the video looks like without it. And now I'll show you what it looks like when you add it. So all you need to do is between the two video clips, hover the mouse over the edge of one or the other. When you have the selection tool selected, right click and then apply default transition. This will automatically do a standard cross dissolve. So this is what it now looks like. So you can see how that kind of fits with the music. So there's a lot of options for different types of transitions you can do. To add these transitions, you want to go to your bottom left panel, click the little arrow and go to Effects. This thing gives you all the different effects that you can have and add to your video clips. You can type in an effect in the search bar if you already know the name of the effect that you want to add. Now we want to go down to Video Transitions. So if you go to the drop down menu here, and these are all the different transitions that you can use. So there's 3D motion ones, so this cube spin, let's see what that looks like. So to use this transition instead of cross dissolve, all you need to do is click and drag this on top of the cross dissolve effect. Now let's have a look at what it looks like. So there's a lot of different effects like this you can experiment with. This one doesn't fit with the sort of video that I'm doing, but if you're wanting to do something a bit more fancy and abstract, that might be something that you're interested in. There's a few different types of dissolve that you can use as well. So here's the cross dissolve that I was using. You can also have a dip to black dissolve, so this will make your video clip fade to black before fading into the next clip. So sometimes I use that for my videos. Similarly, there's dip to white and then film dissolve, which Adobe claim is used in actual films. So I'll drag and drop this and see what it looks like. But for me personally, I just like the standard cross dissolve for here, and that's mostly what I've been using throughout the video. So that is how to add a transition between two different video clips in the same layer. So next, in this section here, where the cymbal crashes come into the backtrack, I've added in some waves crashing against the rocks, just to give emphasis to the cymbals coming in. So it looks a bit like this. So one thing which I could do to this wave is to put it into slow motion. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to move this little clip up here onto the top layer, just so that I'm not going to affect any of these other video clips, because if I change the length of this one, it might affect these ones. So up here I'm going to do the editing, and I can always move it back afterwards. So if you want to change the speed of a clip, you need to right click on it and then go to speed and duration. This brings up a little dialog box, and right now the speed is at 100, so that's normal speed. So if I type in 50 here, I'll be halving the speed. So let's press OK and see what it looks like. Now you'll see that the video clip has doubled in length, and that's why I've shifted it up here. But again, you can just crop this and move it back if you wanted to. So let's see what it now looks like in slow motion. So that's looking okay, but I probably preferred it at normal speed, so I'm not going to bother changing the speed for this, but that is one way that you can add in slow motion. If you are planning on doing slow motion stuff, then it tends to be best if you've been filming at 60 frames per second. My video clips have only been done at 30 frames per second, so when I slow it down like this, it looks a little bit juddery and unnatural, so I tend to avoid doing slow motion stuff. But if you have a camera that is able to do things at 60 frames per second, then that would look really good if you're wanting to add in slow motion to your videos. Here's another wave shot here. So another thing you can do is actually increase the speed of a video clip as well. So again, you just go to speed duration, and this time I could do 150 to increase the speed, and then it's going to make this wave go faster. So this can be particularly useful if you're wanting to do a time-lapse shot or speed up a really long scene. One that I've done in the past was a video on my Patreon page of me setting up my room to film an indoor music video, where I sped the video up to around 800%. So another thing which you can do is you can change the opacity of the video clips. So if you click on a video clip here in the timeline, you can then view this individual clip up here in the top left panel. So if we now go to Effect Controls, this gives us a lot of different options for things we can change about the video clip. So for example, we can change the scale, so we can zoom into the video. So to change this, you can just click and drag, right to increase, left to decrease, or you can just double click and type in a new scale in the box. So 100 is the original scale. Position allows you to shift the video horizontally or vertically. So again, just click and drag. So we can shift it over to the right, or we can shift it to the left. And this second number here controls the vertical position. So we can click and drag to shift it up or down. Or you can double click and type in a new value, and that will also shift it. And then just do Ctrl Z to undo. You can also rotate your image. And then down here is where we have the opacity. So this is something which I use quite a lot. So at the moment the opacity is 100%, so we can see the full image. If we want to reduce the opacity, then we can either type in or click and drag. And then what happens is if you have a video clip underneath this video you've got, so here I have another video clip which will be visible. If I reduce the opacity, then we can start to see this video underneath. And then if we fully reduce the opacity down to 0, we can fully see the image that's underneath. So what I want to do here is I want to have the start of this section be fully this video clip, but then gradually transition into this video clip at the end. So you could do this by using a cross dissolve, but another method of doing it is using the opacity. So if I want to have a particular opacity at a set point, all I need to do is first click this button here, and then click this little button here. This adds what is called a keyframe. So this tells us this particular point in the video, the opacity is going to be 100%. Now I want this to be at the start of the video clip. So here's the video clip here. So I can click and drag this and move this across to the start of the video clip. Now I can click towards the end of the video clip. So I can either click here or also down here in the timeline. And at the end I want it to be down to the opacity of 0. So again you can add another keyframe here. And then this time I'm going to put the opacity down to 0. And then again I'm going to just click and drag to make sure this keyframe goes all the way to the end of the video. And now there will be a gradual transition from 100% opacity to 0% opacity between these two keyframes. So let's now see what that looks like. There we go. So that is how to change the opacity. If you wanted to fade in and then out of this top video clip, then you could add another keyframe in the middle of the video here. So let's make this one go down to 0 and then in a few seconds time make it go up to 100 again. Now let's have a look at what's happening. So that's quite funky. It's not what I want, but like you've got a lot of different options with this. One final tool that I tend to use quite a lot is the crop option. So to add the crop effect to a video, you can go back down to the effects in the bottom left panel. So remember down here and click on effects, and I'm going to type in crop to the search bar. So here we go, here we have crop. So I'm going to add this to the video clip here, and I'm just going to remove the opacity changes for just now. So you just need to click and drag and drop this effect onto the video clip. Make sure you've selected that video clip, and then the effect controls are up here. So now if you scroll down, you'll see that the crop function has been added. So what we can now do here is we can crop these different aspects. So again, click and drag, or click and type in how much you want to crop. Here I'm going to start off by cropping from the left. So we can see here that the video underneath then becomes visible. You can do from the top as well, and then we can do from the right, and we can do from the bottom. So this is something that I do if I want to have multiple images showing on the screen at the same time. For example, maybe I wanted myself playing on this side of the screen. So I'm going to crop from the right hand side, then I'm going to scroll up, and I'm going to move the position of myself. So I'm going to slide over this way here. So that's about center there. And then if I click on the underlying video, the one of me blowing the horn, if I then change my position over to the right hand side, so click and drag, we can now have both images at the same time in the same shot. So now if I play that, so here at the end, because the top video finished, and because I've shifted this bottom video over, we now have this black space here. So that's just something you have to be careful of. So if we just remove all of these things again, another thing you can do is you can have a video change position over time. So I've shown you how we can change the position of an image by clicking and dragging. So let's start out, let's say we wanted it to start over this side. Once again, we need to click on this toggle animation button here, and then we need to start adding in keyframes. Let's say I wanted to add in another keyframe along here, and then I can change this position. So say I want to move it back into position here. So let's now look at what that looks like. So that's how to add in manually movement and animation to your videos. Again, if you want to move these keyframes, you can click and drag if we want that to happen more slowly. And if you wanted the movement to be faster, then you can move the keyframes closer together. Similar stuff with the scale, you can change the scale over time. So let's start here. We want the scale to be 100% here. Let's say over here we want the scale to be higher. So let's now zoom into there. And let's watch what that now looks like. So that's a few extra things that you can do there that are very handy to know. Thanks very much for watching this tutorial, and please do let me know in the comments if you find it useful. I'll leave a link to part 3 here when it comes out, which will be about basic colour correction, adding graphics and exporting your video. And finally, don't forget, if you are planning on getting Adobe Premiere Pro or you're thinking about getting the whole Creative Cloud subscription, then please do consider using my affiliate link in the description below. It's at no extra cost to you and it really does help my channel out. Thanks very much to my Patreon community for their support, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!